Okay, Hard Park Dementor. This one's cool because it's kind of a weird build in that the front is a little longer than maybe what I would normally make because it's got a JLU rear as the front lower, if that makes sense. So JLU rear is going to be about 58 millimeters. This is a 58 millimeter link on the bottom, and then on the top it's what you would consider maybe a standard or normal length upper at 39 millimeters. In the back, this is a gladiator length, 78.5 millimeters, I believe, on the bottom, and then on the top upper link, it's going to be 70 millimeters. I'm running the Injura upper link riser, and then underneath, this is the 3Flow 9 RC rear diff slider. This thing's awesome. LGRP axles, front and back, and then brass diff cover only in the front, brass knuckles from LGRP. What I like about these LGRP brass knuckles versus say what you might buy on Amazon is that this tiny screw here is recessed, which is great because then you don't have anything kind of sticking up here. And then if you lose one of these things, you don't have to find that tiny washer that goes on the inside. You just have this tiny bolt. So you can buy a couple extra bolts and you're good to go. In the front, you can see I made my own battery tray, and maybe making my own is a generous term for that. What I did is I had an extra Endura chassis kit sitting around. I really wasn't using it. I kind of pulled these little carbon parts off. I believe this was like maybe a battery tray or something. Anyways, I double taped this thing to the front and the servo, and then I used this Velcro here and do that underneath the battery, and then you kind of just click it in there like that, so it doesn't move. It's really solid Velcro. I really like it a lot. On these Dementors, there's not a ton of real estate here to put electronics and move things around unless you're running like maybe a true battery on axle or anything like that, but I didn't have that sitting around, and I didn't really want to get into the logistics of what that would look like to make one, so I just figured, you know what, this is fine. I'll just throw this up here. I was running a couple other different batteries too, but I found that the stock one is the lowest. If I could find maybe a smaller one, that would be fine too, but I do like the low profile of that. I could get a brass steering link, but I think with the battery up front, I think it's good. Wheels and tires, these are the Endora Klingons. These are the 1.3s, and then the Endura rims. I like these a lot. I think the color's good. I'm a huge fan of just black in general in terms of wheel choice. I think it just goes with everything. In the front, I'm running the brass wheel weights, and in the back, I'm running the aluminum. So you can see here, this is what the breakout here, the weight distribution is of this thing. Underneath, I took out all of the tiny O-rings on each shot or each link here, and the reason I did that is because I wanted this thing to move around. I wanted it to flex, and it does that. It's basically the equivalent of a slinky thrown down the stairs. Hard Park shocks, front and back. I'm running the softest springs. These don't have any oil in them or anything like that. They're just, you know, friction shocks, and to me they work fine. I was debating whether or not I wanted to take out the springs and just kind of have it slant, but it's kind of already sitting really as low as I want it anyways, just especially because of the weird length in the front. Hard Park transmission, so this is the DWS, and I believe this is 109% in terms of the gear ratio, so basically it's going to go a little bit faster than maybe what a stock transmission would, which works really well for me. I like the fact that a lot of these aftermarket transmissions, you get a little bit extra wheel speed out of it. I don't need a lot. I mean, I'm not trying to make a rock bouncer, but I like just giving it just a little bit extra. And also it's 33% overdrive in the front. So what that means is it's going to do a good job of pulling uphill and turning in a very tight radius. LGRP branded Lizard Pro, micro Komodo, FlySky GT5 receiver. That's kind of my go-to. I like the fact that there's a little bit of material right here where it kind of comes over the rear axle housing. I think that's pretty cool. It's a nice touch. That means that there's no like catch points here. It just slides over the whole thing. So I'm not running any hex extensions or anything like that, but I am running the +1 millimeter hex right here. I got that from LGRP. I'm sure that's impossible to see, but basically that means that it's 1 millimeter wider than stock. So it doesn't give it a ton, but I feel like it gives it just enough to where you get a little bit more clearance out of it, really without sacrificing the width. Because I think with these little micro cars, like there's a tipping point or a point of diminishing returns. If you go too wide, then basically the thing will just, you know, you'll run into the axle every time you try to approach something. So if you're still here, please like, share, subscribe, and I wanted to thank you for tuning in and helping me grow my channel. I'll see you in a future video.